G'day guys, Daikaiju Down Under here, and welcome back to another DD Universe custom figures overview video. In today's video, we will be taking a look at two characters here. So we have the DD Universe Jet on the left, Jaguar on the right, and in the back there, Megalon. So 3 figures, 2 characters. Let's start with Jet and Jaguar. Alright guys, so the DD Universe Jet and Jaguar, these two are the analog of Jet Jaguar in the DD Universe. So there is no Jet Jaguar, but there are 2 separate units, one on the left here, Jet, and one on the right here, Jaguar. Within the universe, these two both fight in tandem. They're a sort of a dual team Titan extermination sort of force, hence Jet and Jaguar, often deployed together, Jet Jaguar. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at the customs quickly first. We'll start with Jet on the left here. So we'll move Jaguar to the side and we will talk about Jet. So Jet here is a custom Gundam suit, a Gundam model kit, I should say. I believe the original kit is a Gundam Leo. I'm not too familiar with the Gundam lore. I do build a fair few Gundam kits, but I'm not really too invested in the Gundam lore outside of Iron-Blooded Orphans. But yes, so I believe the base figure used here is the Gundam Leo model kit, and then I have just custom painted it. So it's not supposed to be a one-to-one paint recreation of Jet Jaguar. It's supposed to more or less just homage Jet Jaguar while being its own thing, and of course I've given it a very heavy weathering and battle damage sort of look. So it stands about 5 inches tall, completely new custom paint job, and the one accessory. So we'll talk about why I made Jet and Jaguar while looking at Jet here. So the reason I made Jet and Jaguar was simply because I had the 2 model kits laying around, and I thought, hey, these would look good in the DD universe as just random mechs. And then I got the idea to just make Jet Jaguar. So I actually started with Jaguar, who was originally going to be Jet and Jaguar, but I didn't like the way that turned out. So I created Jet here, and then sort of spun the lore around that, hence Jet and Jaguar. Now, taking a closer look at Jet here, Jet is definitely the more battle damaged, weathered of the two. So you can see the paint job I've gone with here. A lot of gunmetal, sort of silver dry brushing done on the exposed metal parts. Originally the kit was green and I did have to paint it white, and I did that all freehand. It took about, I think, 6 coats of white paint just to get a decent white finish before giving it a black and brown wash anyway, just to sort of dirty it up a bit. And then just some gunmetal sort of highlights across some of the creases in the metal there, just some edge shading, just to create that realistic look. And then of course, just some Gundam water slide decals, just to really finish off the look here. Now, the reason I chose Jet here, or the Gundam Leo kit as the analog for one of the interpretations of Jet Jaguar type thing, this side grille vent detail on the side of the head here, it just looked like Jet Jaguar to me. He's got that sort of thing on his neck, and this character has it on the head. So that's pretty much it. That's how simple the inspiration can be for the DD universe. So that's the quick overview of Jet. A lot of battle damage, custom paint, all white, and then I've got some custom orange sort of coloring on there. That's Jet. Let's move Jet out of the way, and then we'll take a quick look at Jaguar, and then we'll compare them with Jet Jaguar. So Jaguar here, I actually made first before Jet. A little less battle damage, paint, and coloring. The base figure, I can't actually remember the name of the model kit, but I thought it was a generic sort of robot looking enough design that it would have just fit as a generic mech within the DD universe before I spun and was like, well, might as well make it another character, right? So we originally made it as Jet Jaguar, but I didn't really like how underwhelming it felt. Again, this is a 5-inch model kit compared to the 6 to 7 inch SH Monster Arts figures. So it was a little underwhelming and it didn't quite look exactly like Jet Jaguar the way I had it. So I scrapped that idea and then just made it its own separate mech named Jaguar that fights in tandem with Jet. So Jet Jaguar kind of split into two characters that fight at the same time. But much like Jet, a lot of battle damage and weathering, not as much as Jet, but same sort of diff. See all that battle damage on the legs there. The model kit itself started as white, so I didn't actually have to paint this one. I actually wish I did in hindsight though, because the white doesn't match ever so slightly, and it's slightly annoying. But basically the same thing that I did for Jet, I did here on Jaguar. Again, I actually did Jaguar first. So that's pretty much it. Now, I believe the hands are actually alternate hands. Those didn't come on the model kit. I had to order those just because I really wanted to get that sort of Jet Jaguar classic pose that you see Jet Jaguar with a lot of the time. The orange on the figures actually is also just a complete remix. It's my own sort of custom orange color that I had. But looking at them together, they definitely work well as a pair. So when you see them together, they look like the same, they're in the same unit, they do mesh well with each other, and they have a lot of the same similarities. So both of them primarily white, they've both got the blue sort of ankle guard cuffs here, they've both got the orange sort of on the chest there, one, you know, sort of orangish, orange here, red here, but the same sort of color, general colorway going on there. They both have the same orange on the shoulder pads. They both got the same blue eyes that Jet Jaguar has. So even though they're not exactly Jet Jaguar looking together, they do sort of get that point across. It is a Jet Jaguar analog. And just to further prove that, we'll move these guys over just a little bit. Maybe we'll move them back because I'm not too sure what the framing is going to look like. But here we have the SH Monster Arts newly revealed, or newly released, sorry, Jet Jaguar. So he doesn't really fit in frame, but we don't really need him to. It's just a quick sort of comparison shot. So you can see the similarities. They've both got the blue on the legs. They've both got the sort of blue outline on that like groin guard sort of look. These two have the same pose. They've both got the sort of lighter color on the shoulders, and then, you know, they've all got the same sort of blue eyes. So comparing them with Jet Jaguar, the similarities are there. So we'll bring in another one here. Let's bring in these slightly smaller. This will probably be a little easier to sort of see. SP Jet Jaguar. So again, you can see the similarities between Jet and Jaguar and how they sort of together in the DD universe represent the analog of Jet Jaguar. So that's the inspiration behind these characters, and you've sort of got a quick size comparison of them. Now, because they are both model kits, the articulation is good, but at the same time being made of ABS plastic, they don't pose very well. So I don't actually move them around a lot. I'll quickly do a demonstration. This is an older kit, so the articulation is not great, but you have your basic sort of swivel at the arm, bend at the elbow, bend at the knee, sort of joint here at the hip, ball joint on this one, ankles move, head does rotate. So articulation, not the greatest, not Monster Arts level, but they can move around, they can pose. However, they don't really need to. I just sort of have them sitting there on the shelf representing the DD Universe Jet Jaguar. So that's Jet on the left, Jaguar on the right. There is a full read-up, or a bio, I should say, of both of these characters over on the DD Universe Instagram page if you want to give that a read. But let's move on to Megalon, shall we? Alright guys, and here we have the DD Universe Megalon. Now, the model kit that this figure was originally created from is actually rather small, so I had to drop the camera just to get Megalon in frame. But we'll do a quick 360 here and we'll just sort of take a look at the figure. So the model kit itself, I believe I got off of Hobbylink Japan a couple years ago for a very cheap price. I can't remember the brand name, but when I got it, I originally wanted to paint it up as Megalon, but I didn't intend for it to be the DD Universe Megalon. However, after I finished painting, I figured, hey, why not? Let's chuck it in. We'll make it the DD Universe Megalon. And here we are. So, lore behind Megalon, I haven't really thought about too much. I'm still tossing up whether I want this figure here to be a life-size Megalon, as in there's a swarm of these things and they all sort of flock together, maybe, you know, and they create a big Megalon-shaped kaiju, similar to that one scene in the Bionicle movie, or have this be two size within the DD universe, you know, compared to like Jaguar here. So I don't know, I still haven't decided, but here it is Megalon. The paint, pretty easy to do, just painted the whole thing gray, chucked on some brown, and then did some layering on top of that with some dry brushing and some shading, just sort of edge highlighting as well. And then from there it was just creating the sort of Megalon motifs, i.e. the gold eyes, the silver horn. It's got some orange on his chest there, kind of like Megalon's neck design. He's got some silver on the claws there to, you know, sort of emulate Megalon's drill bits. And then on the back here, on the back of the shell, back of the carapace, I've done just some painting. These weren't done with the intention of matching Megalon. I just did these freehand as just generic shapes, just to look like Megalon. Now, these wings that the model has are removable, so I will remove those. I didn't actually paint those because I don't really like having Megalon with these out. So we'll take those off. That's just to show that it does indeed come with them. So this is how I prefer to have Megalon displayed. So just like that, just the generic sort of beetle look, crawling around, and you've got that carapace all closed up there, gives it that nice shape. And that's pretty much it. It's a very simple repaint. There was no sculpt modifications done, just a repaint of a model kit done for fun, just to sort of look like Megalon. So you can sort of, you see you've got that nice carapace there, you got some nice browns and stuff. We'll get a little closer for the camera. He's got his big silver lightning horn, just some messily painted golden eyes. That was done with a Gundam marker. Got the silver on the claws there. Maybe these can dig through the ground, I don't know. And then on the underside of the belly, just a little bit of dry brushing, just to sort of give some color contrast. So Megalon's actually very simple. Small in size, small figure, not the best articulation. Again, like Jet and Jaguar, because Megalon here is a model kit, the more you move it, the more tendency it has for bits to pop off, but the head can sort of rock around in that socket. Get a slight ab crunch, so you can sort of straighten Megalon out. Or you can hunch him forward, which is my preferred look for the character here. And then all 6 limbs are on ball joints and they can just sort of roll around. But that's pretty much it for Megalon. Very simple custom, nothing too special, just a nice repaint of a model kit. So that's the DD Universe Megalon.